That was good. All right. We are here and with Fred, Marquez. How you guys doing today? Oops.
I'm good like you.
Man, not
Come on.
bad. Been a tough week, but
It's been
you
a
know,
really tough week.
week seem a lot longer
Yeah.
than what it's actually been, man. But just
Yeah.
happy to be here, man.
Yeah. It has. It's been a really long week. Just a whole lot of things going on here in San Antonio and the world. Just personally too. It's just been a long week. It's been a long week, but we're here. We're here. We're alive, breathing well. So,
It's a blessing in
how you
itself.
guys doing? Really, just wanted to have everybody tap in. We started a couple minutes late, but want to make sure everybody is here and making sure you guys are good. How's y'all's week been? Good. We have a couple of things lined up. We got a couple of things lined up. We wanted to talk about, some issues that have happened this week. Definitely want to pay tribute to one of our closer youth football.
My bad.
That's okay. One of our youth football mentors to the kids, and really want to pay tribute to him. So we'll go into that. We also want to talk about the school shooting that happened and just in general what's going on with that. And then we do have, just to lighten it up, we do have a picture that Mariga's found for us that we kind of want to get into. So yeah.
Oh man, y'all put that picture. All right, man. Where's David Sheffield at? John Ware, Trey Gaines, Mike Ford. Man, I can't believe y'all put this. I can't believe LeBron took a picture in this. But just to lighten things up before we get into the actual show, man, this is unacceptable.
To say the
Unacceptable.
least.
I
To
mean,
say the least.
hey, look.
Unacceptable,
Wait,
man.
is this
If
on
he
the
want
screen
to
right
do
now?
that, he can do that, man. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, Michael Jordan would never wore
Yeah,
that,
the
man.
LeBron picture, we got it up.
Yeah, go ahead and put his picture.
Embarrassing
Yeah,
us.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
Come on, bruh.
First off, if it's Photoshop, like what's the reason? What's the reason for it even being Photoshopped?
I mean, people hate on LeBron every day. You know what I'm saying? But if he's wearing this on his own accord, he's hating on himself. That's all I'm gonna say about that, man. That man got way too much reach, way too much influence, man, to come out there in a pleated skirt at that, and it's
Listen, man.
I
pink.
was gonna say that thing is
I
creased
came in here a
to
few
the
minutes ago,
T.
Fred, when I first got here, right? And I started complaining about my wallet being too heavy in my pants. You know, I got all these pockets.
He
everywhere.
did.
Right.
He did. We just had
So
this
the first thing,
conversation. Yep.
Tori come at me with said, well, that's why you need to get a Merce. Like, well, look, man.
A
You know,
merce,
you know what I'm saying?
a man purse,
man
Yeah,
purse.
like,
male
man,
purse.
It's a
that's
thing
just
now,
something.
right?
No, I mean, for them, you know what I mean? But that's
And
something
these
I
are
just can't get
they're
down
supposed
with.
to be they're supposed to be our
All right, we got the question mark on the screen. Okay,
they're supposed to be our, who our kids look up
there we
to,
go.
and who that look, there are moguls and
Listen, man. Look. This is the mood I'm in today. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm not gonna hold back my words on nothing.
please don't.
Listen, if this is what we're endorsing nowadays, man, call me a hater. You can call me old school. You can call me whatever you want to call me, man. I don't endorse this. It ain't nothing cool about it. You
What's
know what
that
I'm
in his
saying?
hand?
I don't give a damn
A Merce.
if it's LeBron James. It could be goddamn whoever the biggest pop star, actor, whatever, man. men should not be dressed like this. The bottom line, you know what I'm saying? And if you got a problem with that, man, that's just your problem, man. I don't endorse this for my sons. I don't endorse this for other people's sons, man. It's just ridiculous, man. Maybe LeBron need more attention than what he already gets, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
I don't think
a
he
lot
needs
of people
more
do things for us for attention, man. You know that. But this whole thing with LeBron, look, I don't endorse it. What you laughing at what Shane said?
Nah, Donnell put Queen LBJ. There you go.
See,
Yeah.
I don't endorse it either, man. But like I told you earlier, man, when we was talking on the phone, man, you just gotta let folks do them, man. You know what I'm saying? And if LeBron want to dress like a female in all pink with a pleated skirt and a pink purse, man, then you know what I'm saying? If he like it, I love it, man. Go ahead.
But at what point do we as real men say this stuff needs to be canceled?
I mean, yeah,
At what
I
point
mean,
do we say this stuff needs to be canceled, man? Because once again, I'm all for equal rights and all that kind of stuff, what have you, man.
as soon as you say it need to be canceled, they gonna cancel you.
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? That's
fine.
That's,
Don't nobody
but I'm
need
just
to- don't
saying,
nobody
that's
need to hear me.
But what I'm just saying, that's what we living in today. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
And
That's just
look,
what it is.
I'm cool with being canceled.
Yeah.
I only got a small reach, you know. So if the world can't hear Fred Davis, it ain't hurt nobody. But when you got a global icon who sits in front of billions, you know, and puts an image out, you know what I'm saying? Like, this stuff is cool, and that's why I said it gotta be Photoshopped.
Has to
I know
be.
LeBron
But-
James has smarter people in this corner, man. The dude been doing this for 20-something years, and he's never done anything like this. You know what I'm saying?
But it's fashion. You go over to like France, and
We're
all
in
the
America.
men are. I'm just saying, fashion.
Well, that's just the thing, though. You're right, because I mean, I don't know if LeBron did. He may not have done it, but I mean, you see NBA guys doing
I was
this
gonna
all the
say, I
time
was
now.
just about to say, like,
know what I'm
Cam
saying?
Newton
I
just
mean,
come
well,
out
you
with
seen
real crazy
NFL
things.
guys doing
Yeah,
it,
you
the
seen
toughest
NFL
of the
guys
tough.
doing it, yeah. You see him doing
You know what
it,
I'm
yeah.
saying? But that still don't make it acceptable in my book. Like
Right.
I said, I just, man, listen, man, I'm all for whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But once you start glorifying it, glamorizing it, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
gosh.
Pushing it to make it seem as if, you know, that is a norm. Man, that's not norm. That's not normal. All right. They have a men's section in the clothing store. They also have a women's section in the clothing store. You know what I'm saying? Men's go shop in the men's section. Women go shop in the women's section. Cancel Coach Fred for speaking
Not
his
anymore.
Yeah,
truth.
Not anymore.
No,
yeah.
well, I'm telling you this. And
I'm gonna shop in the men's
listen,
section.
and-
That's what I'm saying. I'm not
and-
gonna
So
switch it
Shane,
up.
okay,
but
so
I'm just saying.
Shane is on here. Hi, Shane. He's he said him and D Wade are great friends. Do you think there's any correlation? And he also said, what about Russell Westbrook? Because
hey,
that looks like his fashion.
Hey,
which
Westbrook-
it does.
he need to go on somewhere too, man. Maybe that's why he play the way he play now.
But you know what? That's just part of everything, though. Like, man, a couple of weeks ago, we was here joking about them big red boots. You see what I'm saying? So, like,
Now they have
man,
big green
it's
boots.
almost like they just flip
Well, I mean,
up.
at least
like
they make
everything
those
just,
for men though.
Yeah, but they look.
They look like clown shoes, but you know, those are unisex.
But they don't look masculine. I mean, they don't look like, you know what I'm saying? They look like just some rubber Ugg boots, in my opinion,
right,
man.
just
You know what I'm
oversized
saying?
boots, right? You know,
I mean, but who's really to say that? Because that wasn't a dress. Those look like pants.
those look like pants.
Those are pants.
Have you ever wore a pair of pants that look like that?
Yeah, look. The closest thing I got over there when I was a little kid wearing them hammer pants, man. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the closest thing
Exactly,
I got
it's the
to
Now I remember when I was in
It's
high
coming
school.
back.
When I was in high school, I had a pair of Z Cavaricci
Okay.
Z Cavaricci pants. When them jokers had about 1,000 pleats off, or whatever you call that.
yeah.
But they came down to my ankles.
Yeah, they come to your ankle. Them hammer pants
You know
came
what
to
I'm
your
saying?
ankles.
Like,
man.
Well,
come on,
he
man.
is really tall, so that could be. Those are your ankles if you were to wear his pants.
Listen, hey, men, quit allowing your sons to dress like women. All right, man. Stand up in your goddamn household, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, women, if there's not a man in the household, man, do what a man would do and tell his young men, be a man. All right? This is getting to the point, man, to where it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Now they got LeBron James out there. Who's next? Barack Obama?
No.
Hey,
I mean, he the next
That's
biggest
crossing the
influence.
line.
Goddamn.
That's crossing
I
the
don't
line.
know.
I mean, who?
Mitch Mitchell mad at us, man. Talking about, you know what I'm saying, don't be speaking on no fake picture and a podcast show on a Photoshop picture. You know
Hey,
what I'm
well,
saying?
I said I'm hoping that it's Photoshop.
Yeah, it could be.
Even if it ain't, look, if it is Photoshop, LeBron should have came out 1 minute after that picture surfaced and threatened to sue somebody.
Because they have people that can take stuff down. Like
Yeah.
let's be real. They have people that can take stuff
His
down.
ankle hurt, but he managed to get in them pants though.
Yeah. Bottoms are wide.
Anyway, man, look, let's go on and get into some real issues, man. It's for those of you that are not in San Antonio, man, it's been a hard week for us.
Yeah.
All right, we had Don Lowe on our show a few weeks ago, and as you guys got to witness, man, his brilliance as far as his passion, his energy, everything that he's brought to the community. Notice I didn't say to youth football, what he's brought to the community of San Antonio is just, I mean, and I'm going to be real with y'all, and this ain't me trying to fluff nothing up or what have you. I haven't met a person with that type of energy or that type of spirit ever while I was coaching youth football. We're not even talking about his actual coaching ability. We're just talking about his energy and his passion right now. He lost his life violently after being shot. I can go on and tell you how that has affected me personally. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, we do this to try to have a positive impact on these kids' lives, right? But it just makes me realize that no matter how much we want to have a positive impact, you know what I'm saying, we can only control so much. So I know, Tori, you had, because we definitely gonna talk about the download situation, but you had mentioned the school shooting.
Yeah. So
in Tennessee. So
that also happened on Monday. Yeah. So just that actually, I wanted to talk about that because that really just hits so close to home. I have 4 kids, and it's like school is supposed to be a safe place that we send our kids. We are entrusting, that we can send these kids to school to learn. That's all they're supposed to go learn, and of course have that relationship with their friends. But we want them to go there and learn, not for us to have to worry about, is my kid safe, because somebody's going to be able to run up in the school from wherever and start shooting up the school. So that's what happened. For those of you who don't know, that's what happened, which I'm pretty sure everybody has. In Tennessee, there was a school shooting. 6 lives were taken because some random person ran up in this school and just started shooting. And, it's just a lot of people are really upset, with the fact that they felt like it's these gun laws that are really taking toll, and I don't know. I know, Maricus, you said you didn't really want to talk about the gun laws. I know that you had posted,
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind talking about the gun laws. It's just nothing else to say about them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's my point. Like, man, every time something like this happen, it's the same spiel. Mm-hmm. We need to get this. They need to take away, you know what I'm saying, assault weapons, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. Yeah. And everybody come on with the same little speech that they had the last time it happened. Mm-hmm. And it's nothing going to change. You understand what I mean? That's not going to happen. You got so many people fighting, saying, well, it's my right to be able to, you know what I'm saying? And them guns, the ones that's winning. You know what I mean?
And
so
that's exactly what
man,
it is.
Look. It's not gonna stop. It's so bad. It's just horrible to say this right now, but man, it's almost like, let's go back to what we were just joking on about. You know what I'm saying? These NBA guys and these guys starting to make it normal to wear clothes that. Mm-hmm. Okay, well look, it's becoming normal.
It has become
normal for stuff like that to happen. You see what I mean? It's become normal. Like, man, you go a few months here, just like that tragedy happened in Uvalde.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Think about it, man. And that's just talking about the two that's been like
Well, they said
talked
that
about a lot.
that's the last major mass school shooting is the Uvalde one. So Uvalde
But
and now
I
this
mean, that
Tennessee
wasn't
one.
even a year ago.
I know.
Right, that's what I'm
It
saying.
was like 7 months ago.
You know what I'm saying? That's 20. Like I think there was 23 kids, man, that's been killed at school. That you know what I'm saying? That's been out there. Like it's more. I'm pretty sure, but Uvalde was what 19. You had 3 over here. Man, it's 23 kids lost their life going to school. You see what I mean? Going to school. Like man, I can't imagine putting my kid on the bus. You see what I mean? And then getting a call or something like that happening at the school.
Yeah.
And like I said, like Fred just said, it has become normal. And man, it's almost like, man, you have to expect the worst now when you sending your kids to school
It's
and
sad.
pray for the best. You see what I'm saying?
And the crazy thing is, okay, so since I have 4 kids, I have my 2 older ones that go to high school, and then my 2 younger ones that go to elementary. You have my elementary school kids that the school is very guarded. You have to go past a certain point. And then my school now with the kids, they don't even allow parents or adults on
Right.
campus. But you take the high schoolers and you can just walk right on campus. Walk right in. I walk right in, no questions, nothing. I don't have to stop at the front office. I just walk
Well, that's
in.
that's a
The
problem.
parents think that, or the adults, the administrators think that I'm a student, and I'm just able to walk in. So who's to say like there has to be some type of accountability? Yeah, a lot of people want to say, oh, it's the gun laws, but I'm like, well, what's going on with these schools? And this is North Side. It's crazy.
Okay, so this is my whole take on that, man. Because kids ain't just getting shot in schools.
No.
You know,
right,
man, kids
right,
are getting
right.
shot at basketball courts, community
Right.
centers, neighborhoods, parties. Man, it's just a problem all the way around.
Period.
It just sucks because at one point in time, we looked at schools as safe zones.
Right.
We looked at churches as
Right,
safe
safe
zones.
zones, right.
There were certain areas that you respected enough to say, hey, man, these people are here for a higher purpose,
Yeah.
right? You get shot at a party, what was going on at the party? All right? You get shot, hanging on the block, man, what was they doing out on the block at that time?
Yeah.
But if you get shot in school,
Or
you
church.
know what you in school for. That's to
Right.
learn, man. So when I look at all this stuff, man, and we start talking about, mass school shootings, Uvalde may have been the last one, at least the last one that was public that we know about, because we don't know what the hell really goes on. We just know
Right.
what they report to us, right?
Right.
But as far as mass shootings, I want to say there's been hundreds of mass shootings already in the country, and we're only at the end of March.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it does get to a point to where we need to be accountable. It's always easy to say somebody needs to be accountable. No, we need to be accountable because these are our kids that are going to school. So are we educating our kids on the importance of, safety? Are we educating our kids on the importance of why they, at 18 years of age, they don't need to take guns to school
Right.
to settle whatever issues that they have? Because are we educating our kids on bullying, other kids, or how to handle a bully?
That's
because
major.
a
That's
lot,
major.
That's
That's
right?
major.
Because a lot of these
Serious
That's major.
issues that are occurring, in my opinion, are from lack of parenting. So you can blame the districts all you want to. You know what I'm saying? You can blame the little local
Well,
corrupt
but
politicians.
that's on the outside stuff. The stuff
Right.
beside the school, then ain't got nothing to do with parenting. I don't think.
Well, what I'm saying is this. All right. Unless these gunmen are adults, you know what I'm saying? Then I said it has something to do with parenting. Because when you get a 14-year-old kid that says he's been bullied all his life,
Yeah.
that decides he doesn't want to live any longer, right? And he wants to go in and take the lives of as many people as he can. There has to be signs as a parent that should warn you, hey man, my child is not stable. You know what I'm saying? What are they doing to get that kid the treatment they need? Now, I'm not blaming parents 100% because some of the stuff, if you just got somebody who want to go out and do something horrific like that, then I don't know how to stop it. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is this, I always start with self. Before I start pointing the finger at anyone else, man, what can I do
Right.
to help alleviate that problem? You know what I'm saying? And it just seems like everybody else points a finger. You brought up the issue about gun control. I don't believe in gun control. And I told you that before we even came on the show.
Yeah.
And I said the reason why I don't believe in gun control is this. Who are they going to control the guns from? I mean, they already got gun control laws. They don't enforce them. Or they don't enforce them with the right folks, because I got friends that are convicted felons. They can't get no guns, but these guys have turned a
They
new
got
leaf
'em.
in life.
Yeah.
Well, they
You know
got
what
'em
I'm saying?
still.
Well, legally, they can't get guns.
Yeah, but they still
You know what I'm
got 'em.
saying? So that's a form of gun control, because if you're a convicted felon, you can't go out and you can't legally acquire a firearm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There are other laws that prohibit what type of guns you can get. All right? But the criminals are going to always find a way to get guns, man, because they don't follow the law. So it don't matter how many laws you pass. If you got somebody who's going to break the law, why wouldn't they break a law to get a gun?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, when it comes to the local politicians or whatnot, man, it's just like a lost cause, because I don't think, and like I said, this is just my view, man, and ain't nobody got to agree with what the hell I think or what have you.
No.
But most of these folks are not passionate until it hits their doorstep.
That's exactly what I said.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly
Until
what
it
I said,
affects
man.
them directly, hey, man, you just another vote. You know what I'm saying? You just another.
You cannot put no faith or anything into these politicians. I don't care, man, what side you on. You can't put no faith, no type of trust or anything into them, man, because, I mean, like I said, man, politicians have been around. They didn't had that stuff since what? For as long as, that we've been around, man, what changes do y'all really see? Like, what changes have y'all seen positively in your lifetime? The only thing I've seen coming along is everything getting worse.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've seen. Now, as far as the school stuff, man, your husband went on here and he said exactly one thing that I was thinking. He was like, man, they need to, put more police security in schools. And they do, but see, they're not going to do that because it costs money. You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Preacher
So
said that.
so that's not going to happen. But that's one way to
Right.
kind of, contain it a little bit. And then, I saw what Shane put on here and something else, man. I think I was telling you this, how the media play a role in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, school shooters go and, they could, like, man, if I'm crazy enough, okay, man, I know this might be my last day on earth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Right.
going to go ahead and shoot this school up, but I'm going to forever be famous, man.
Right.
I'm going to live forever because they're going to always talk about me for what I did on this because the media, you always blowing that stuff up. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's just.
But Tina had said something too. She said this person has serious mental issues. So to be mad at school for any situation is, the person was mentally unstable. She said guns don't shoot people, people shoot people. And then, of course, God bless the police who bravely kept everybody else
Right.
safe. Yeah.
Man, my oldest brother worked for Northside Independent School District as a police cop for a few years, right? And he used to tell me all these stories of things that transpired while he was at school. For one, we say that as parents we want more cops in school,
Yeah.
in schools, but the reality is most folks don't like cops until you need cops.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So when you got those same cops that come to Sam Houston High School, or they go to Brackenridge High School, these are schools maybe in SAISD. It's a lot of complaints. You know why they say? Because y'all are treating our kids like they prisoners. Why do y'all have all these cops over here? You get that shit just from being on a certain side of town. Man, you go on the north side, ain't no cops nowhere. They let them people live how they want to live. You come to this side, it's a cop on every block. Well, the thing is this, we have to decide what's most important to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with law enforcement.
I think the one thing we all agree on, our kids are most important to us. I think we
Yeah.
all agree. So we probably want the police in the school.
Right. So
You know what I
the
mean?
thing is this. So if that's the case, if we want more police in the schools, we have the power to make that happen.
Yeah.
But like you said, it costs more money. All right. So the areas that you live in, have local politicians. They have school boards. How many of us have you ever been to a school board meeting?
I have not.
Have you ever been to a school board meeting?
Yeah, I have.
All right, well, that's good. And the reason why I say that is this, because until these people until we realize that we have a voice, you know what I'm saying, we're going to always be underserved. You know, you go out to these more affluent school districts, you know, get a chance. Look, you don't even have to live in a school district. Go out to Northside School District meeting.
Man, let me tell you, they're not doing too well out there.
Well, I'm saying though, but they have people that voice concerns. They have people that cause hell.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You have to make your issues known. That's my whole thing, man. Because you know, once again, like you know, for me, I don't. You know, my son go to elementary school, man. They ain't got no cops there. Ain't got not one cop. But it's controlled interest. Man, I sit at that door every time I go to drop my son off lunch. You know, I got to sit there for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, damn, man, hey, man, y'all see me? I'm ringing the doorbell and they just take their sweet time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They not letting nobody in. Then once you get in that door, you got to go through another door. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel safe as far as.
Shit, what school was y'all at? Because man, Lord help me, like go in the door, man. I told him and go on out. You know what I mean? That ain't all that going on where we at.
Yeah.
That's what mine is.
You know, but you know, I just think that we all need to do better. And man, like I said, the fact that Uvalde just happened and nobody talks about it anymore. You know what I'm saying? That makes me think that a lot of this stuff is more politically motivated than emotionally motivated, because it's here then it's gone, man.
It's emotional. Like I said, it's because the emotion is just temporary. It's just because, like, man, to go back to the media thing again, man. Look, and man, I know this gonna sound crazy, but it's just the truth, man. That's how I feel, man. Whenever something tragic happen, everybody immediately gives you their opinion on it, or how they feel, or you know how they claim it affects them. You see what I mean? They talk about it immediately, but then, you know what I'm saying, as soon as, you know what I'm saying, maybe a day or two go by, man, it's not even thought of anymore. So what I'm saying is this, man, it's almost like it's just, man, how many people really care? You see what I'm saying? It's more so, man, I'm going to get out here and I'm going to speak this and get this attention to myself and get everybody to start, you know what I'm saying, talking to build on my thing. And then, you know, man, I don't really give a fuck. I'm going to go on, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But see, like what you just said, like as far as we got the power to make changes, but we really don't, because like I said, man, it's more of this instead of really just getting out there trying to enforce your power. Yeah. Man, everybody always got an opinion. Man, everybody always talking about something when it happens right then. But, man, as soon as you get comfortable again, man, it's just like a little bad kid, man. Little bad kid, man, coming here and he do something every day, and you finally catch him, man, doing it. And then you know what? For about a week or so, he not going to do it because, you know, he got caught. But as soon as you get comfortable again, man, he right back doing it again. So that's just how it is, man, now. Like with people, man, they just speak on it and then forget about it. Man, that's one thing, like, I don't know, like, people been saying I be tripping now. You know what I'm saying, man? Mo be tripping. Man, you don't act like you, whatever. Man, I'm going to act like me. But see, man, reality is, man, I feel like my mind has evolved as I got older, man. And I see a lot of crazy stuff that go on. Like you just said, I know there's some things, man, that we do have the power to fix it. We had the power to fuck it up. You see what I'm saying? So now we got the power to fix it. But it takes everybody to fix it, man. It can't just take me or Fred or Tori. Man, if everybody, because everybody claim they want something fixed. Everybody claim they want, you know what I'm saying, things to be better. You know, man, we have the power to make things better, but you can't just talk it, man. You got to live it. You see what I'm saying? And
Bettina had a question. She said, what are your thoughts of all our teachers getting their license to carry? If they had the ability to defend our kids themselves, would it help? If you have 3 or 4 teachers able to protect all together against one shooter, would it help stop further killing?
That's actually a great question.
That's a really good question. I don't know how.
It's kind of hard. That's a hard answer for me, because I don't know how many of y'all got, your carry licenses or whatever. It's not very hard to get one of those.
That's what I heard.
In Texas, it's not hard at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
what was the question again? Like, should teachers be?
Should teachers be able
allowed to carry in the classroom? Should they be able to? But of course, locked up. Should they be able to have a handgun in the classroom?
This is my opinion, right? Instead of a teacher being instead of a teacher having a weapon, I would prefer them to just get somebody who's specifically trained in firearms to deal with that. If you don't deal with a gun or guns every day, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure that you would know how to respond to an attack.
Well, that's what she's saying. Take him to a course and have him renew it every 2 or 3 months.
Okay,
The
that's
only
not
thing that
enough.
comes from bad from that, though, you got to think about it, man. Look, teachers carrying guns, man, teachers in the classroom with so many kids, man, teachers can get distracted, kid can mess around and slip the gun off. Like, a lot of things can happen with that.
Right.
And then most of these school shootings, man, honestly, it don't care. It don't matter the teacher, you know what I'm saying, armed or not. Because, man, most of these school shootings are ambushes. You know what I mean? They just running in there and they just running in there blasting. So, you know what I'm saying? You really don't.
I ain't trying to be funny or nothing, but man, as stressed out as these teachers are,
They
Right.
use
you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like,
if
Right.
someone's not mentally
Come on, man.
Right.
you know, y'all look at some of these videos of how these kids act in these classrooms. I just saw a video the other day. They had a classroom in Chicago, and it was 2 male teachers literally getting cussed out, talked too crazy, and these were big, muscular guys. You know, I guess they brought them in to try to, you know, control the situation, and the kids talking to them like they crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, and I'm telling, like, I'm getting my blood pressure is rising just watching the video.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah, I couldn't be in that situation. You know, Lord knows what would happen if a teacher was pushed beyond the point and then had a firearm.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I would just
You
say,
see teachers now, man, fighting with kids, you know what I'm saying, in the
Right.
classroom.
It's-
You got teachers sleeping with the students.
That's
so
what
you got all
just
types
said.
of
You,
shit
Shane
going
just
on.
said you got people.
it's
you see
it's a
sleeping
lot
kids.
going on in those classrooms. I would prefer to just have more specialized personnel. You know what I'm saying? If you listen, I know a lot of these guys out here portray like they Rambo and I got all these guns and stuff. Man, look, if you're not dealing with these guns on a daily basis, you know, I'm pretty sure that you're not a sharpshooter. You know, I'm pretty sure that you're not proficient with how to break down a weapon, you know, put it back together in the event it fails. You know, so you may become more of a liability. What happens if somebody disarms you and takes your weapon
Exactly.
and commit more crime?
Exactly.
Or
within
when,
that
you know,
school.
they're so
Exactly.
scared to shoot at somebody, a little kid comes running across their peripheral and they shoot at the kid. Yeah.
So I see where Bettina is going with it. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, I would just prefer if there were actually more law enforcement involved. You know what I'm saying? To where at least at the points of entry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's only so many points where you can get into a school. Like most
Really,
of these
that's the only place
windows
they
are
need to be.
fortified. Right. You know what I'm saying? But, you know.
It's a lot. Like, I know that somebody had said, you know, there are a lot of, it was Chris who said that there are a lot of trained veterans who would love to stand guard at these schools, which is true too. It's just a rigorous thing that you have to go through with these, like PTSDs. Paris had said something about PTSD, you know, and that's something that you have to look at too. And it's just a lot. Like, it's
You know
you're
what's
damned if you
sad,
do,
though?
you're damned if you don't.
What's sad, man, we done sat here for like 20 minutes talking about it, and ain't shit gonna change.
No.
Nothing gonna change. You see what I'm saying? Like, everybody, a lot of folks having these conversations.
I think it's just,
Nothing gonna
I don't
change.
think,
Like we said, we got power, we can kind of go enforce it. But like I said, it ain't gonna be enough. It ain't gonna be enough of us that's gonna try to enforce that power.
I think it's just
What-
because we don't know how. I don't think that anybody has ever come up with the actual solution of how, because it's like you are sitting here and what you have is a great idea, but then you can come back and be like, well, what about this? What about this? You know,
But that's why you gotta come
double-edged
together
sword.
to figure out a
I'm
solution.
gonna slightly disagree with you on this right here. You may not be able to change it on a large scale, but you know you can change it on a local scale. You know what I'm saying? You may not be able to change every school in the city,
Right.
but you have enough power to implement things in your own school.
Yeah.
You know, if you build a relationship with that principal, that superintendent, you know what I'm saying, that school board, and if they know that you are serious about things that go on, look, these people, you know, these are paid positions.
Yeah.
You know, and they get paid based on performance. If the performance is raggedy, you know what I'm saying, these people get fired. The thing is, there's just not enough concern Because what do we all say? Oh, it'll never happen to us.
Exactly.
It'll never happen to us.
Until it
You know what I'm
happens to your
saying?
ass, yeah.
Until it happens. But by
Yeah.
the time it happens, it's
Too
too
late.
damn late.
Too late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Too late.
So now is the time to start going to those school board meetings, figuring out, hey, man, what is your policy? Because every time I look up and they say, oh, man, Wagner's on lockdown. You know what I'm saying? Judson's on lockdown. Steele is on lockdown. Whatever one of these high schools is on lockdown, it seemed like the parents start tripping. Man, they ain't no. It's like, well, damn, they telling you the school is on lockdown for a reason, but are you not familiar with the procedures are when someone is identified with a weapon on campus? You know what I'm saying? We need to know these things. We need to start with ourselves and educate ourselves on how these things work. Like I said, for the kids in the high school, man, bless their heart, man, because these kids are under so much pressure and under so much influence to be a certain way. I wouldn't be surprised if these little young men ain't walking around strapped. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Guns outside, all in
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
grass
Yeah.
behind bushes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, or whatever.
I mean, you know
because
that,
hey, man, that's the way to be nowadays.
Yeah.
We live in Texas, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't
so
even
easy to
see
get
why
done.
people even glorify guns in Texas anymore. Everybody got them. You know what I'm saying? It's an open carry state, man. Everybody has guns in Texas. You know what I'm saying? So, it was only a matter of time before we got what we asked for. You know what I'm saying? So now, they say, well, this the good guys. The good guys stop bad guys. Good guys with guns stop bad guys with guns. But it only takes a split second for a good guy to turn into a bad guy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's just my take on it, man. Like I said, I think Chris put there are a lot of veterans that would love to be able to do, that would love to be able to help to protect some of these schools, man. Well, I would love to see that. You know what I'm saying? For the veterans that actually want to do it, most of the veterans that I know, these jokers battling their own damn demons.
Well, even Shane, he said he's very well trained in firearms, and he wouldn't even take the role as a liability to get. For him personally, because society's changed, like that could be turned on him in a minute. So
No,
I get
you're
that.
right.
I get that. So yeah, I think we just have to really be really diligent in going to.
My stomach growled.
What's wrong with y'all?
All right. Well, I tell you what, man. I think this would be a fitting time, to go ahead and pay homage, to Coach Don Lowe. We've talked about gun violence and things of that nature, man. And it's sad that, he lost his life because of gun violence,
Yeah.
right? There are a lot of hurt people in San Antonio right now, and within our community, right? I actually had the pleasure of knowing Lowe personally, had personal conversations with him. We sit on the phone at times, man, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning while he was at work, man, and we just shoot ideas off each other, whatnot. So I know what his ultimate vision was. He blessed me with that vision, right? He asked me for suggestions on how to bring that vision forth, or whatnot. Y'all may not have had that same level of a relationship with him,
Yeah.
but y'all, I'm pretty sure, like, everybody in San Antonio has felt his impact.
Everybody
just
knew
based on whether you
of
knew him
at
personally or
least.
not.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because of the type of guy that he was.
Right.
So, man, I'll let y'all share, just y'all thoughts on Lowe, and then
real
I'll kind of
quick,
get into
man,
mine.
I haven't, cause I can quit, cause like I said, man, I had been out of it for a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? When I came back in, honestly, he was one of the first dudes that messaged me saying, congratulations, come back in, blah blah blah, this and that, whatnot. And we had a few conversations on also, like what you said, on some of the visions that he had. He had, some great ideas, but, I could tell, the few conversations we had, man, he felt a little discouraged, man, because of, man, the one thing that he told me several times, man, is that, man, we need to try to unite the city. We need to try to unite the city. We need to try to do this, want to get this going, get that going. And you can see how he was kind of discouraged in that. Right. But the one thing, man, like I can say, like, I can't get on here and say, man, load this, load that. I can't do that because I didn't have that type of relationship with him. because I didn't know him like that. But as far as a man, as far as a coach, like I said, we talked several times, man. You know what I mean? Just right after the last episode I was on, you know what I'm saying, we talked, I was telling him, man, I ain't coming at you, man. You know, he was like, no, I got you, bro. You know, I told you about me, and he was on the phone tripping about that. But the one thing I can say, man, is from what I hear from everybody, man, like I said, I never got a chance to coach against him. But the one thing that I hear from everybody, man, and I've had like people in my organization now tell me, hey, man, you know what? He is a phenomenal coach. Man, I watched somebody's live through the All-Star Showcase. And man, I just saw his energy. You know what I mean? I saw him, man. He was out there live, man. He had his kids live, you know what I'm saying? So, man, look, as crazy as it is, man, like, man, the energy, and man, I feel that because I remember being young and being out there and enjoying it like that and being like that, you know what I'm saying? So, man, it's a huge loss. Man, I've been looking on social media and I see so many people that was a part of that man's program, a part of that man's life, that's seriously hurting right now. Look, like I said, man, I don't have the type of relationship with him that they had. But man, you know, as a human and being a part of the same community, man, it hurts you too. So you can only imagine how those people are feeling right now between, you know what I'm saying, the kids in his organization, his family, his kids. And man, I think, and I'll end it, I think that just as a youth football community, man, you know what I mean, we should, at least right here in this area, we should try to do everything we can, you know, to support the NLAE organization right now, support his family. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things, man, that we can sit down and talk about, brainstorm, and figure out what we can do to show them, you know what I'm saying, that we behind them right now. You know, tell you like this, man, and I got to throw this out there, man, and I know it's kind of off, but I want to say it. Man, any youth coaches out there, man, if any of y'all out there trying to get any of these NLA kids right now, man, please don't do that. Man, that's horrible.
That's weak.
You know what I mean? That's weak and that's horrible. Do not do that, man. Man, if anything, what I would tell y'all to do is encourage every kid that was a part of that program to stay in that program, man, and give everything they got this season for Coach Lowe. To give everything they got for him, man, because that's what I can't speak for him, like I said, but in my heart, I feel like that's what he would have wanted.
Right.
You know, so that's my thing, man. I hope, you know, praying for his family, you know what I'm saying, praying for his kids, praying for NLAE and everybody, you know what I'm saying, that was affected by the loss of Coach Lowe.
Yeah. I personally didn't know him. The first time I had met him personally, like face to face, and had a conversation with him was when he was on the show. He will always have encouraging words for Christian. He had a nickname for him, and Mills actually just put it out. It was grown man baby. He'd always call him grown man baby. And he'd always just be encouraged, you know, hey, you can always come to NLA, but as long as you're going to be on the Outlaws, you know, keep doing your thing. So my heart just really, really, as a wife and a mom, really goes out to his wife. You know, I know everybody is really hurt, but I can't. The first person that my heart always goes to is a wife, the mom. That's a whole load that nobody will ever understand how it feels. And so, you know, if she gets wind of this clip, this video, this show, whatever, you know, hey, Yanni, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. And it just, for me, it hurts. Like, I'm starting to feel, you know, just because I can't even imagine what it would be to lose her husband. I don't know what I would do, you know, and, you know, just being put into the single mother position in that way is just not something that anybody deserves at all. So my heart goes out to her, his family, kids especially. You know, I have 4 kids, so I can't even imagine. So, you know, everybody keep your heads up. You know, let's wrap our arms around family, anybody who knew him, the organization. You guys are in our hearts, and just, you know, take it one day at a time. Seriously, I'm so sorry.
Before you get started, Fred, I want to say this real quick, man, real quick. So, man, a couple of weeks ago we was on here, right? I think the week before Lowe came on, and Fred, right after he won the showcase, and Fred said, man, you know what, I want to go ahead and get this man his flowers right now.
Right.
and he was talking about Low. You know what I mean? And here's my thing. This is kind of what I just wanted to say real quick, man. That was good, cause he got a chance to hear that. You know what I'm saying, coming from you. So thing I want to say, man. Look, right now, like I said, we just got to talk about this, man. Tragedy strikes. Everybody's on it right then, and then as soon as life start moving on, you forget about everything.
Right.
Man, let's try not to forget about things like this. Man, give everybody their flowers that deserve them right now. Man, start like telling these guys that are impact in your lives or in your kids' lives that's giving a huge amount of their time. Let them know what they mean to you, man.
Right.
Man, if you a coach, start letting these parents and these kids know what they mean to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's start doing that because you never know. Like I said, man, not only Coach Lowe, but another coach, Martin Castro.
Martin
I
Castro.
heard South Texas Punisher, another coach, man, that lost his life this past week. Man, I saw a lot of people hurting behind him too. Man, that was it's crazy. Like I said, just a couple of weeks ago, you were saying, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get this man his flowers now. And now, you know what I'm saying, you see a lot, and I'm pretty sure everybody in his organization gave him that type of, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
love and respect. But people that wasn't a part of his organization that's coming on social media now, you know what I'm saying, giving them all the love and respect. Man, let's give everybody that now. If you feel a certain way about these people, man, start telling them that. Because, you know, that stuff go a long way too. Because, man, honestly, look, man, if you have people that's telling you different things about this and that, you know what I'm saying, that could change your whole day, man. A lot of things may not go the way it would have went because, man, you know, that could change your whole day. That could change everything, man. Some people need to hear stuff like that, especially when they're giving you everything that they can give you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So,
Or even if it's somebody that you don't, I know it would actually mean a whole lot more if it's somebody that you don't even rock with or somebody that you have been having issues with. You
Right.
know, just be that bigger person. Who was it? J.U. Clark said, put that pride shit away. Put the
Yes.
pride, man. That's like
man,
our biggest, that's our biggest
anybody,
downfall.
I'm gonna go ahead tonight and I'm gonna say it. I know it ain't gonna mean nothing, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Man, everybody, I can just speak for San Antonio right now. That's where I'm at. Everybody in San Antonio, look, and like I said, man, y'all know Low a lot more than what I did. But the one thing like he told me is, man, I'm just trying to unify the city, bro. Just trying to unify the city. Man, if you out here, if you have any beef with me over you football, I don't have that beef with you no more.
Right.
If you out here beefing with anybody else out here over some youth sports, man, let's squash it, man. Let's end that right now because, man, from what you said earlier about the schools, we have the power right now to make youth sports a beautiful thing. And like you said, we can't do it everywhere, but locally we got the power to do that. Man, if everybody squash the beef, come together, unify, as like what Lowe was saying, unify. Man, regardless of what organization you with, man, and you know, you still, man, families have disagreements. Families have arguments. Families have this. But what I'm saying is, man, at the end of the day, families stick together and stand together. Right. Man, let's unify. Let's end all the beef between whoever it is. And, man, let's move forward in a positive manner, man, and start trying to do things the right way.
Let me say this, man. Great points from both of you guys, right? I'm gonna go back with Drew Clark, man. When it comes to the pride, the fact that we even talking about pride is problematic within itself.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you why. The pride and ego should have been checked a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? If you are that insecure to give another coach, another mentor, another dad credit, props, reverence, there's something wrong with your spirit, man.
Yeah.
And you may not even be fit to be in a position to lead. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Some people have to be the center of attention. You know, Low is an alpha male, right? I'm an alpha male. Maricus, you're an alpha male. You know what I'm saying? Alpha males surround themselves with alpha males. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But that's what makes alpha men stronger. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So when we sit up here and we're afraid to give somebody like Low their flowers while they're alive, see, I'm going to say some shit, you know, and I hope it get to the right people. You know what I'm saying? Because I told y'all at the beginning of the show, you know, all the little sneak dissing, all the shit that's been on social media about this, that, and the third, man, y'all are really the problem. What am I? Let me look right in the camera. Y'all are the problem. You know what I'm saying? Because anytime you take on that role, you assume a certain responsibility, right? Was Low perfect? No, none of us are perfect.
None of us.
But his passion for the kids was perfect. You know what I'm saying? His love for them goddamn kids was perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't like him because of maybe the way that he spoke, or you didn't like him because of the way he may have carried himself, you know what I'm saying? That's your problem, because that means you chose to pinpoint on that as opposed to pinpoint on his passion and love for the kids.
You remember what he said sitting right here?
What's that?
How people prejudge everybody before.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just take it back to this. At a certain point in San Antonio youth sports, we have to determine what's important to us. Is it how a man dress? Is it how he speaks? Is it his level of education? Is it the kind of car he drives? Or is it his passion and love for these kids? Because I've seen coaches with nothing give everything they got.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I've seen coaches with a lot do very little.
Very little, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we speak on Low, I don't want Low to be like another mass shooting incident to where, it's a hot topic right now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And everybody's
Right.
long live Low, long
Right.
live Low, all this other stuff.
Until tomorrow.
My thing is this.
Yeah.
If you want Coach Fred to live long, tell me that while I'm alive. Maybe that can inspire me to live a longer life. Maybe it makes me feel more important so that I can do things to stay here a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying?
doubt.
Once somebody
doubt.
is gone, long live don't mean nothing. It's over with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't push a down reset button. So once again, like, I'm speaking to the ones that really know Low. If y'all really love Low the way that y'all say y'all do, y'all are gonna commit to some changes. Because the way that this man passed away is not indicative of who this guy was. And that shit pisses me off, because that's how people are going to look at him. For the ones that don't know him. Like he sat there in that chair and said, people are going to prejudge me. You know what I'm saying? And for those of you that really, 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 really rock with this guy, you know what I'm saying? Talk ain't going to do it. Y'all better get involved in some actions. You know what I'm saying? These kids that need y'all, that need that program, y'all better do every goddamn thing in y'all power to keep NLAE going. If y'all ain't reaching out to KT right now saying, KT, what do we need to keep the program going? Because, see, a lot of people, don't realize KT hurting too. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's a no-brainer that Yanni's hurting. Mm-hmm. It's a no-brainer that his kids are hurting. You know what I'm saying? And they always come first. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even lie to you. Man, it will be hard for me to even fathom my kids growing up without me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But to have to live after your husband has passed, your father's passed, you know what I'm saying? That's a tough deal, man. Ross is 10 years old. I lost my father when I was 10. And I'm going to tell you, it'll never be a void that can be filled because of that. Yeah. I don't give a damn how many coaches then came through and said, hey, man, Fred, we love you. Here, catch this football or whatever.
Daddy.
It wasn't my dad.
They still ain't daddy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, for those of you, once again, man, that truly love this guy, man, be real to yourself. Be real to him. Do what the fuck he would have wanted y'all to do. And cut all the fake shit. You know what I'm saying? Yanni, KT, those are the only two people. Well, I haven't reached out to Yanni. You know what I'm saying? I've reached out to KT, and I respect the grieving process or whatnot. Mm-hmm. It's just something simple as, hey, man, if y'all need something,
No doubt.
let me
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
or whatever and stuff, man. I do believe in the power of prayer,
Yes.
But if you're going to pray for these folks, man, really pray for
Really
them.
pray for
A lot of
'em.
y'all be saying, I'm going to pray for y'all. And he
Right.
said one damn prayer for the
Right.
family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're going to pray for them, man, take a minute out of your day and actually say a genuine prayer and see how that moves that family.
Fix it, man. Before you post it on social media, say that prayer, then
Right.
let them know you're praying for them.
Right.
Say, and that's where you know you did your part on it. Say that prayer before you post it.
Yeah.
So like I said, man, I've said this over and over and over and over again. I know the personal relationship I had with Lo. Lo was like a little brother to me. Lo was actually only a few years older than my oldest son. You know what I'm saying? I didn't look at him like a son because he was wise beyond his years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I looked at him more like a little brother because at least with me, you know what I'm saying, he was very impressionable. He sought out advice. He asked different ways to handle certain situations. And, to me, the thing that stood out about him more than anything was the fact that he was a committed father. I'm going to tell y'all some real shit, man. And I ain't trying to square nobody game off. It ain't too many married men that I talk to that don't talk about all the extra shit they got going on. I ain't never had one conversation with Lo about him being outside of his marriage. Yeah. Not one. Not one. Man, Lo done came to Vibe since I opened Vibe up. I've been open at Vibe for over 3 years. You know how many drinks Lo done had since he been a Vibe? One, and that's because I basically made him. Hey, man, you going to drink this, dog. And it was a frozen strawberry margarita. And he said, man, the next day I'll never drink that again, man. So as far as I know, Lo didn't even drink.
Yeah.
You asked him about drugs, man, he was against that kind of stuff. And I'm just putting this shit out there for those folks who are going to automatically judge this man and assume that, oh, well, man, this is what it is. Nah, man, y'all didn't know the guy.
Yeah.
Now, it's what I'll tell everybody, right? And I'm going to get off the mic because I've been on the mic for a minute, but I'm passionate about what I'm saying. See, I can't control how people feel about me, right? But I have 100% control of how I feel about other folks. You know what I'm saying? I don't say nothing that I don't believe to my heart about another person. You know what I'm saying? So, for those of you out there that may be questioning, my feelings, you know what I'm saying? Have a conversation with me about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I am that type of man that deals with stuff face to face, hand to hand, right? Well, I ain't gonna say hand to hand because that seems like it's violent. But I do deal with stuff directly, right? You know what I'm saying? Because once again, there are a lot of folks out there who pretend to have had these great relationships with this guy. Somebody put a post out there and said, man, if Lo could say it, he say, man, I ain't mess with half y'all no way, and y'all really ain't mess with me. You know what I'm saying? So my thing from this point moving forward is, man, as a community, let's figure out how we keep this man's name alive, how we keep his legacy alive. Yeah. First thing that I say is this, and I'm going to piggyback off of what you said, Mauricus. If you're trying to recruit players from NLA, you weak.
Horrible, man.
You sorry.
Horrible.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't taking no NLA kids at the Outlaw program. I don't give a damn who they are. It's disrespectful. Man. You know what I'm saying? It's degrading. And it's tasteless. All right? Lo was trying to build something with that group of kids. For those of you that don't know, Lo and KT just took over that organization. This will be their first year with NLAE. You know what I'm saying? It's under their ownership now. They were passionate about that, man. Yeah. Don't destroy what those guys have tried to build. Because you see a weak-ass opportunity to do so.
That's horrible.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave it at that. I'll come back and chime in a little bit later, man. But, like I said, Mike is y'all's, the floor is y'all's, man. Just anything else y'all want to add in on that? Because
no, man. Like I said, I think, like I said, it ain't really much. you can't say other than, you know what I'm saying, like you said, man, you know, if you have or if you putting out there, man, that you're supporting them, you're praying for them, man, actually do it. Um, man, I challenge everybody, man, to just all of us within the youth sports community to do everything we can, man. Like I said earlier, to support NLAE. You know what I mean? Like I said, we all have our own organization, we have our own stuff going on, but man, it don't take much. You know what I'm saying, to show a little support to an organization in need right now. And in need right now, what I mean, man, is like, you know, the emotional, the mental, anything you can do for them. You know what I'm saying? Let's do what we can to be there for them people, man. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how you felt about them in the past, like Fred said, man, that should what happened to their leader should put an immediate change in your heart if you felt any type of way about them before Monday night.
Right.
You know what I mean? Cause they kids, man. They kids just like we had kids.
Right.
Same thing. They kids just like us. You know what I mean? Like we have.
I would say if anybody comes across any of the kids that had any relationship with him, just put your arms around that kid, because kids grieve, period, but they grieve differently.
Right.
So you may see this kid who's been knowing him, running around, and then the next minute he's, you know, taking it out on somebody. Kids grieve differently. So as adults, we need to just come, wrap our arms around them, and just let them know that, you know, hey, he's still here with us, and, you know.
Well, I know Kayla commented, she put, I would like to know if anybody's going to do a fundraiser, put something together for the city to pay respect, and all the benefits go to his wife and kids.
Yeah.
So, Kayla, we'll definitely keep you tuned in to anything that we hear about that. You know, like I said, you know, I've just been dealing with KT attempting to deal with KT directly because of the severity of what happened. And at this point, I don't know of anybody that's doing anything. If there is anybody that knows of any type of benefits, donations, or whatnot, you know what I'm saying, you know, let us know, and we'll let KT know, or, you know, whoever needs to know. Mm-hmm. Because look, man, and this ain't about no pride shit or whatever. Like, you know, and I'm not trying to put Low business out there, but I'm gonna say this. Low took pride in taking care of his family, man. For everything, for all that he's told me, Yanni didn't work. You know what I'm saying? He busted his ass working 2 jobs to provide for his family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that she could stay home and make sure the kids and stuff was good. And that's why when he sat up there and said he was the thing he was most proud of was what? His son being a straight A student. You know what I'm saying? Yanni had a lot to do with that, because she is able to stay in the home with the kid and make sure that the kids are where they need to be at. Well, it may be tough now. You know what I'm saying? And we putting all that pride shit to the side, man. You know what I'm saying? Once we find out what we can do to help these guys out, we're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? As long as they allow us to. You know, so KT, man, if you tuned in, any of you guys from NLAE, you know, that know of any type of benefits or donations or anything to where everyone from the community can help out, man, chime in with us, because we want to make sure that we keep this family lifted up, you know what I'm saying, through this tragic incident, because we know it's going to take a lot more than just financial help. It's going to take a lot of spiritual help, a lot of emotional help, you know, and things of that nature. So anything that you guys know about, let us know. Kayla will definitely follow up with you if we find out anything as well.
Erica said that it's going to be done soon, but the org is giving the family time to grieve and process it right now. So we definitely understand that.
Now, I do want to talk about this real quick, right? Because I'm pretty sure y'all have seen these videos of Lowe with his kids, and, you know, that's something that's truly inspiring to me, right? Because it made me realize that I need to start having fun with even the kids that I coach. For those of you that know me, I'm more of a business first, you know, type of person or what have you. But hell, I may be gone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I would love to be able to have those type of memories that Lowe has with his kids. I'm seeing him jumping around. On one video, he was at the beach. And thank you to everyone that shared those pictures on social media,
Yeah.
shared the videos or whatnot, because it did give those who had this negative imagery of Coach Lowe an opportunity to see what type of person he really was. You know what I'm saying? So I know Dermon from Duck Pond, he put a video out. I know The Breakdown put some stuff together where they paid tribute to him. I know, I don't remember, I think it may have been Drew Clark that put something up to where everybody shared their pictures and videos, man. So it was just a great, it was just great to see all of those moments, you know, and these kids just having a good time with him, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Corey said he was cut from a different cloth.
Absolutely.
Once again, you know, I don't know if it's because his Louisiana background or whatnot, but he definitely brought a different vibe to the city that nobody has matched. You know, as far as with that energy and passion. So I would like to take the next few minutes to try to figure out what we can do to keep that torch alive. You know what I'm saying? And anything that we can do to actuate change to make sure, man, that, you know, we don't lose any other leaders, because although we're paying homage and tribute to Coach Lowe, there are a lot of other coaches that have the same impact that we still ain't giving flowers to. And they're right here. Some of them are listening to the broadcast right now. But because, like it was said earlier, you got pride preventing the coach from calling another coach saying, you know what, man, bro, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're an inspiration to me. You motivate me. You move me. You know what I'm saying? We got to start doing that. Parents, man, if y'all still on that bullshit where y'all are trying to keep these organizations divided because some things didn't go right with this org, so you move to another org and you tie down the org that you came from, y'all on some bullshit too. You know what I'm saying? Because that is one of the main reasons why a lot of these coaches don't get along with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, focus more on the love and the development and less on the hate and the ego. Then I think we can find a way to move forward from this tragic event.
Yeah. I think one thing that he really did try, and he showed it, but set an example for, was really loving on these kids. Just being that father figure to those kids who didn't have that. Like, he really was a father figure to a lot of these kids, you know, and I did see that. Somebody had said that these kids will run through a wall for that man.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
Here's the thing, man. So, and like I said, just going off with everybody saying, like what Fred just said, man, about keeping the torch alive and how people can be on some bullshit or whatnot. Man, like I said, you see the life in him and everything that he was giving those kids. Man, and, you know, a lot of y'all out here, man, y'all criticize a lot of coaches for that too. I mean, you just got to keep it real. You get criticized for that.
yeah.
And, man, I was kind of just thinking about him, thinking about, like, what's going on in the videos I saw, how he is with his kids. Man, I can remember, man, at a certain point to where, you know, it's definitely not about me. I'm just trying to make an example. But I'm just saying, I remember the point where I was always criticized for the passion I had, the way I acted and stuff like that. I was always criticized. A lot of people had a lot of negative things to say. So, and that's fine. But see, my thing is now, if you was criticizing it then, but now that man's gone and you on here talking about how great he was, man, that don't even mean nothing no more.
Right.
So, man, start telling these guys now how you feel.
Right.
Start giving these guys that positive feedback now instead of trying to criticize them and tear them down. You know what I mean? When it's too late to tell them. You know.
Yeah.
Man, I know, like, it's kind of funny, but when Fred said, man, I got to figure out how to have fun with my kids, man, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of funny because, man, I've always said it, like, and, you know, I'm not saying in a bad way. You know, when people talk to me, I was like, man, you know, Coach with Fred, man, you know, we had two different personalities. It's kind of good because, man, I always say it seemed like Fred can get these kids to believe they can run through a wall. I said that. I said because, man, I don't know what it is, but he's like, it ain't like militant, but it's almost militant. You know what I mean? Because his demeanor. Well, I was the more, You know what I mean?
Hey, man, you was a player's coach.
You know, I was the more this and that. But, you know, you do have to find a balance between that. Man, you got to find a balance between it. And that's one thing, man. Yes, you have to be militant. You have to do this because you got to have their respect from your players. But at the same time, man, it's times where you got to put yourself on their level too and have a good time with them and let them know, man, you know what I'm saying, that they could be comfortable with you as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, man, quit criticizing coaches for the way they do things, man. Because at the end of the day, we all volunteer coaches. None of us are honestly no better than the other. You know what I'm saying? Some of us might just win a few more games than the other do. You know what I mean? And sometimes that has to do with the kids that you have on your team. That got nothing to do with your coaching.
Exactly. That
So-
don't have anything to do with that. So I agree. Okay. Well, Fred, was there anything that you wanted to close it with?
Yeah, man, just, like I said, man, keep his family uplifted in prayer, but at the same time be respectful of what they're going through.
Right.
Man, make sure that we find a positive way to carry on his legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you can't do anything to support that organization, definitely reach out to KT and the leadership over there, and let that be known. I mean, if there's anything that we can do as a community is actually come together. Rodriguez is wearing a SAU shirt, San Antonio United.
Yeah.
I got mine, San Antonio United, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of an honor blow because one of the things that he always pushed was the city uniting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I told y'all a couple of shows ago that that's really not one of my visions because I don't think it's possible. I think it's a lot of talk. It's not enough action. But, we can definitely unite at least in mentality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's, just having the passion
Yeah, just
and
go
the
back to what you
love for
said
the
earlier
kids.
too, bro. We got the power to do it. We just got to do it.
Right.
I remember you
so.
had put on there that you were trying to get something together, like just
I
something.
put together all coaches come to it. Let's see.
I think that's a great
I put
idea.
that out there. It is a good idea, but I put it out there. But see, I knew wasn't gonna come up. That's why I put it out there. Now, if we can, that'd be great. I would love to do it. But see, my thing is, I put stuff out there sometime for a reason. See, if I went on there and I posted some bullshit, dogging out the Outlaws or dogging out Fred, man, that joker would have had 150, 200 comments on it. All type of likes, dislikes. It'd been all type of mess going on. When you put something out there like that, you get 3 comments. You see what I'm saying? You get 3 or 4 comments. Let's do it, man. Let's do this, bro. So you already know, man. That's just what it is, man. But the one thing that you said earlier that I'm going to stick by is this. Man, we got the power to do it. So it's no sense in me sitting there saying, well, you know what, man, I only got this, so it really ain't going to happen. No, we're going to make it happen. We're going to find a way to make it happen. You know what I mean? So
We're going to put a tap-in organization together. Organization together. We're going to do something. Tap-in, barbecue, where y'all going to host it. We're going to host it. We're going to host it and get all of the coaches, teams, organizations together and kind of go off of that.
let's get all you old coaches from every organization. And let's do a flag football game. Let DML slaughter y'all, man. 'Cause I got a bunch of young cats.
Flag
I ain't gonna
football.
play. I'm a referee. But what I'm saying.
Flag football. Let's do kickball. Get some
I'll play
teams, do
kickball.
Kickball. Make sure you take your Tylenol and your Advil and all that stuff.
Look, I'm gonna say this on a serious note, man, because I just Preston had to put on there, man. We got to remember, man, to stop the violence as well.
Oh yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt.
No
no doubt.
I think this whole podcast is irrelevant if we don't mention the fact that, man, we got to love ourselves more,
Right.
and we got to stop being
And each
violent
other.
against one another. You know what I'm saying? Because the kids see that and they emulate our behavior.
Exactly.
So, man, let's take it back to what it
Exactly.
was originally about, and that was uniting communities. The same vision that Lowe had about bringing folks together. Let's actually do that. We can't do that if we violent with each other.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say, man. I appreciate, everybody that is tuned in today. Hopefully y'all felt the sincerity and what we were trying to portray, because like I said, this is one of those type shows, man, where we just try to pay tribute, you know, to Coach Lowe and let him know, what he meant, not only to San Antonio youth football, but just to the San Antonio youth community, period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe this will motivate somebody else to step up in a way, and not to, take his place, but at least to strive for the greatness in which he was poised for. You know what I'm saying? So who will be the next one? And this is for the young cats, man. You know what I'm saying? Like us older guys, man, we done already had our lane. We done what we done. You know what I'm saying? But there are a lot of young guys out there, and that's what. And okay, because I already see the face you're making. This is what I mean when I say that. This is what I mean when I say that. One of the things that moved me about Lowe was the fact that he was so young. A lot of folks don't realize, man, I think Lowe was barely 30 years old, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you just don't get that from a lot of these young cats, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these young coaches, man, they too busy worrying about the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? We need more young coaches like that. If we get more young coaches like that, man, it moves the needle forward. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a young coach out there, man, if you're looking for somebody to pattern your coaching style after of, Lowe would be a great source to utilize in order to get your coaching game up.
Okay. Now, what's your word to the older coaches?
Man, we got to be better mentors to the younger coaches.
Okay.
Quit alienating them. Quit making them feel like their input is not valued. Quit acting like we know everything.
There you go.
You know what I'm
There
saying?
you go.
That's exactly what
There
we're trying.
you go.
That's exactly what we're trying to push, though.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to push, man. Look, my whole thing, honestly, man. Look, everything you're saying right is exactly what we're trying to push. That's what I'm saying. So, and man, it's almost like, man, you want the younger guys, man. I told all my younger coaches, man, look, we can learn from each other.
Yeah.
You see what I mean, man? I'm gonna know more than you on certain things. You gonna know more than me on certain things because of the way things are and the way things change. So, man, we can learn from each other. But we do, like the actual situation is though, yeah, man, we are, you know what I'm saying, the mentors to them because we older.
Right.
Because we older.
Hey, James said, man, young coaches need less restrictions on them, man.
Well, I mean,
I agree with him though. I agree with
Yeah.
him because we have been kind of handcuffing these young coaches, not letting them be themselves. Lowe wouldn't allow you to do that.
Yeah, but what you, I
yeah.
want to know what you
He's
mean
always
about
gonna break out that
not
mold.
letting them beat
I mean,
themselves.
well,
like,
basically he's just being funny. But it's like with the restrictions because a lot of us older guys, we want them to coach a certain way. We want them to do things a certain way.
no. Let them coach the way they want to coach.
That's the way that
yeah.
At least that's what I took from it, James.
Yeah.
I may be wrong.
Yeah.
And then
Preston,
I'm gonna let them
I'm
guys
so
coach how they
sorry.
want to coach. You see what I mean?
And then Shantae, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, man, but we'll definitely start the show with this next week because I know we're already over. But there was a young man who was killed in Houston. I think it was last week. I think he was 18 years old, somewhere along those lines, and he lost his life to gun violence. And he
Was that the kid that was friend with my boy App and Dylan?
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
horrible.
it's not just affecting San Antonio,
Oh
man.
no, it's affecting.
You know what I'm saying?
it's
So maybe we'll
everywhere.
touch on that a
Yeah.
little bit more in depth, next week or whatnot. But that's it for me, man.
Yeah.
Once again, I appreciate everybody tapping in with us. And
No, yeah, we appreciate you guys. Really, really appreciate. I know this show today was, not as uplifting and fun, but we talked about what was really important, and just know that we are all here for you guys. And
Mill said, check your phone, man. You're going to get in trouble. Mills,
Mills, we on the show right
check
now,
your
dog.
phone.
Lord Jesus. Okay, well, I'm sorry, y'all.
Hey, you see, she checked it, though. You see, she checked it. I hear you, Mills. That's what I'm talking about,
Shut
boy.
up. No, it was about. It says, well, send this. Let me send this to you so you can drop it before we leave. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Because it does have something to do with Don Lowe. Looks like somebody did put something out there. So I'm gonna send this to you, Fred.
Just send it to Lala.
I have an Android, and she gotta, and we want to post it.
Okay, so look, before we go, all right, because we're done. but I guess it's some type of tribute.
Yes. So Drip City always gonna be there. It looks like all profits, they're selling shirts, and so all of the profits are gonna go to Yanni and the kids.
Now, who does that come? Does that come from Yanni and KT? Because I want to make sure that whatever we're doing, it goes directly to.
I just sent
Yanni.
it to you, so
Okay.
just look at it. Is that your second phone or which phone is that? Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get it. Off in there. Okay, so guys, just hang tight. We're gonna upload this deal or whatnot.
Okay.
That way, you guys can see how you can support.
It looks like it's from
Oh, you
Renee
haven't got it?
Vasquez. It's from Renee. Ruby is saying that it's from Renee, and he's the one who did the uniforms. But yeah, we do have people asking. Looks like Laquisha, she's asking too. She doesn't live in San Antonio, so we're gonna post it, and all proceeds are gonna go to
We on screen.
him and the kids.
Are we on screen?
No.
Are we still live or no? Okay, I'm just making
Okay.
sure.
So we put.
All right, so he got it. All right.
Okay.
So it looks like it should be coming up. So for those of you that want to contribute, looks like we got the information up. So I think you can buy some shirts or whatnot. 100% of the proceeds go to his family. You know, so that's definitely a way to support the cause.
Yes.
All right. So for those of you that are not in San Antonio, definitely check the information on there and make sure that you know that you honor this man's legacy, as well as, you know, help him to provide some financial support, you know, for his family.
Yes.
No doubt.
All right.
All right. So we're also gonna encourage you guys once again, man. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, man, please,
Please
you know, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Man, we're really trying to build a positive platform, you know, so that we can talk about stuff like this. Of course, we're gonna have fun and, you know, we're gonna rock out with y'all, man. But this is also a serious show as well,
Yeah.
and we are gonna address some of the topics. You know, we sit up here just amongst each other, and honestly, we're just talking right now to give you guys an opportunity to get this information so that you guys can support Low and his family, right? But just amongst us three, we talk all the time, and we always try to figure out what direction we want to take the show in, right? We're on episode 10, and we're still trying to figure out ways to improve the show,
Yeah.
right? Man, we're going to talk about hot topics, current trends, of course, anything that has something to do with youth football, sports in general. And as always, if you guys have things that you want us to talk about or to discuss, hit us up. You know what I'm saying? Go to the Facebook tap in page, drop some comments on there. You know what I'm saying? Shoot us text messages, DMs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That way we can make sure that we stay relevant to the stuff that you guys want to talk about.
What happened?
Yes.
What happened right there?
I don't know, man. Legacy clowning. All right, man. I think that's it. Everybody should have what they need, man. And, you know, yeah.
All right, guys. We good? Can you post it one more time, the shirt up there one more time, just so everybody can take a look? All right.
Are we off screen?
We are good.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. Let us know if you guys have any ideas that you guys want to talk about. Thank you all so much for tapping in. And again, please just subscribe. All right. Y'all have a good weekend. We'll see you guys next Thursday.